It's the first race of the playoff picture here in the SimPulse Legacy Truck Series. And back to the short tracks. The last time we went to one this small was Lanier. Tonight, it's going to be the Southern National Motorsports Park, the host for 150 laps of racing, and the 60-mile spectacle is due to begin to open up the championship chase here in the Prodigy Racing Association. You're watching the Boston 100, the first of our final few races to decide a championship and determine who will come home on top with the trophy and, of course, the bragging rights at hand. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, commentating and producing, and tonight it's going to be especially exciting to see how things play out over the course of 150 laps at one of our smallest circuits. Without question, it's a 4/10 of a mile track here, Southern National is, and it's highly banked. It's almost like a miniature Bristol, even smaller than that track, coming in at just under a half mile. And so far, qualifying times are being taken. Two drivers have gone up onto the board, with Corey Lyles now next up. It looks like most drivers getting an opportunity here in this open qualifying session. Everyone is on the same track together. It's going to lead to some exciting moments here as the track is going to be relatively filled up. Corey Lyles and Caden Perkins going to be going at it at the same time, and it looks like bunches of two drivers apiece have been heading onto the circuit. Nothing more to this point. Lyles gets up to the pole position now as he goes up to the top side to build some more momentum and heads immediately down low at the line. No improvement there for Corey, and up next is going to be Caden Perkins. Perkins up to second, following in the tracks of Corey Lyles. So now it looks like after what we saw at Daytona with Aaron Schugel getting the victory, Corey Lyles is still chasing after the checkered flag and the championship at the same time. Caden moves up in a second and will drop down and in. And as he does so, a few other drivers are due to head out on the track, namely now Rodney Roberts, and you can see Rodney on the way there, the number 29. He's been coming off several strong races, notably top 5 speed at Pocono and a podium finish in Daytona. The best for Rodney Roberts appears to be yet to come, and we'll see whether or not now that number 29 team can continue their good running and their good luck. That success we've seen in the past 2 races, whether or not it would translate over to the championship picture, still remains to be seen. As Rodney gets on the way, of course, defending winner Aaron Schugel also going to be going forward, and Schugel now with a victory in his part-time campaign, already proving that he has what it takes to get the win, and it looks like he will jump up to second, only 26 thousandths behind his championship contending teammate Corey Lyles. So Lyles going to be up in front, then Aaron Schugel in second, and across the stripe again, it looks like for Schugel, no improvement. He will stay in the runner-up spot as Rodney Roberts gets up to the 4th position. It looks like that's where he will stay. Rodney at the very end of it actually moves up to second by 1,000th, so just like that, runner-up spot for the number 29. James Bray in the number 41 looks to be the next driver up on the table, and then after him, championship leader and 3-time race winner Zach Saunders. And here goes the 41. How's about we ride on board with James now and see exactly what he does within the cockpit? Looks like a little bit loose there for James as he gets up to second, but that's because Aaron Schugel is now going to be bested as Zach Saunders moves up to the top of the board, and Zach going to get up there with a lap time of 15.022, and it looks like now the number 99 team is all the way on the top of the charts as he was in his past 3 starts. We haven't seen much of him in the back half here of this regular season, but it looks like Zach has returned with a force and is back to the pole position. So Saunders going to be impressing here with 3 minutes left on the timing charts. It looks like Tony Ratliff will be the next driver to go. As you can see, the number 41 of James Bray pulling in. Bray 5 thousandths off of getting onto the front row. And here now, Tony going to get on the move, and it's going to be Tony Ratliff and Aaron Fontaine, the next pairing, to get on the circuit. And Aaron back to the Apple Computer number 18 paint scheme, which we've seen for the majority of the season. Ratliff making his first start and doing so here in a pivotal position for the championship. All lap times in about the 15-16 second range for tonight's race. So if these drivers are to keep it clean, expect somewhat of a quick event if, of course, drivers keep things together and hold it solidly. That's the big question. Lanier, we had several cautions breaking up the race pace, and this will be a slightly longer event coming in at about 150 laps of racing relative to Lanier, which came through at a total of 120. 30 extended laps here for this playoff event, which gives the drivers more time in the, of course, championship battle to let things play out strategically. Going to be a spin there for Tony Ratliff, and it looks like he's going to back it down. Aaron Fontaine gets up into 10th. And on the way, it looks like the number 18 is still going to hang tough. And Aaron Fontaine, he's going to be 10th for the time being. And it looks like Thomas Coonan and Joseph Klein will be up next. Klein now going to be on the move in the number 97, a fierce contender for the race victory at Daytona. Just didn't quite have things play out his way, but he was up there drafting for the race lead for the better half of that event. And already, Klein in trouble here, going to get spinned out, and it's going to give Chris Mullins a little bit of a troublesome entry to turn 1. It was a nice exit out of 4, but Mullins going to have to weave and bob out the way, so Chris up next, and it looks like now Joseph Klein going to have to recover on this lap. Let's see what he can do with his one and only this time by, as Joseph gets on the way, a 30-second lap to kick it all off, and at the stripe again, Klein, a 16.7-second lap, puts him 12th and, tentatively speaking, last on the order of all those who have taken a lap time so far. So bad news there for Klein. Chris Mullins doesn't fare all too much better, and the number 76 moves up into 10th. And it looks like now Drake Carty going to be on the way. Carty with 2 wins so far this season, and he's going to jump up into the pole position again, just ahead of Zach Saunders. And the final time to be set is the one that grabs the pole. Drake Carty. What a run for the number 59, and he only needs one good lap to put himself up on pole. Checkered flag in qualifying, and Carty is on top. And just like that, Drake Carty with the 2-time victory streak he went on just before Daytona. He's looking to run it back and go for another and make it a hat trick of races and starts, as Carty's going to park it. Qualifying has concluded. Now, 150 laps on the table. And this is what it comes down to. Carty, Saunders, Aaron Schugel, James Bray, and Jason Ratliff going to be starting at the front of the field. And let's go through driver by driver, one by one, your starting grid for tonight's event. We mentioned already Drake Carty going to grab that pole position, and indeed it is his. It's the number 59 of Drake Carty right beside Zach Saunders, the number 99 who leads the playoff standings. We'll begin on the outside of row number 1. He's got the outside pole to kick off tonight's festivities. Then you got third place Aaron Schugel in the number 91 team. Well, they came home with a victory last week at Daytona, and James Bray beside him going to be running in the 4th spot. 3rd and 4th places respectively, Schugel and Bray, and they're here looking to do some damage and get up to the front of the field rather quickly, starting in that 2nd row. Tony Ratliff going to be inside of the 3rd row. He'll be in 5th, and outside going to be Corey Lyles, ever the bridesmaid, is looking for a chance to go for victory lane, and once again was denied the shot with Aaron Schugel getting by for the win at Daytona. Tonight, Lyles is looking for something better than 2nd. That's what's on his mind, no question about it. Then you'll have further on out, 7th place in Rodney Roberts. Caden Perkins is going to be in 8th, and 9th will go to Cameron Albertson in the number 15. It's going to be the final driver in the top 10. Chris Mullins in number 76. Taking a look back to 18th place, and of course that's going to be the tail end of the field. First we have 11th, Joseph Klein. Cameron Fields is going to be in 12th. 13th is Aaron Fontaine, and Thomas Coonan in number 68 is in 14th. 15th and 16th, the final drivers on the starting grid for the time being. It's the number 13 of Cody Johnson, who finds himself 15th. And the last driver of all of which, Mads Crawford, the number 92, to round out the starting grid here in Southern National. 16 drivers looking to take it to the track for 150 laps. And the iRacing official pace car is due to get it out of neutral and grab a gear for the first time tonight as we get to racing in the Boston 100. Short Track Racing will bring to you the very beginning of the Legacy Truck Series playoffs. And now drivers make their way off the starting formation for 2 laps of pacing. Weather tonight going to be relatively mild for the drivers to deal with. Let's take a look at the numbers. It's going to be overall air temperature of 76 degrees Fahrenheit, a track temperature of 89 degrees. Overcast skies for the entirety of this event. Don't expect to see any rays of sunshine peep through. Winds are going to be northwest bound at 7 miles an hour, and as the heat is going to be relatively off, so to speak, we won't see drivers having to worry about all too much of the slick tire problem. Can't expect the temperature to go into the triple digits, but the red hat Zach Saunders is going to find himself back on the field tonight alongside a 2-time winner in Drake Carty, and the green flag will fly here in Southern National. Carty on the inside will lead the field through the opening turns. Contact already back of the field. Yellow flags out immediately. It looks like tail end of it this time around going to be James Bray bringing out the caution, and we're already immediately under yellow. Take a look back right now and see exactly what caused it here, but Bray going to get some contact, and so we're pacing to kick off the playoffs. Up top, Corey Lyles is going to be in the middle of this piece, and it looks like Bray came down. Lyles was there, and an immediate single car spin. Cameron Fields nearly goes around, but saves on his own accord. And just like that, yellow flag is out to kick off the night of action, and it looks like we'll be pacing to settle ourselves back in once again. Zach Saunders is going to be the driver who, of course, leads the way as we come out of turns 3 and 4. We should be able to settle down and get into a string of green flag laps from this point onward. It's going to be Saunders, Carty, and Aaron Schugel up in front, and it looks like only Corey Lyles opting to go down to pit road after that incident, as did James Bray. Now you'll see Corey Lyles there. James Bray going to be coming in at the same time, and the number 41 of James Bray now makes it in with front end damage. Corey Lyles looks to have minimal damage, if anything, but nevertheless comes down to pit road at the same time. Now, Zach Saunders sees that the iRacing official pace car's lights, well, they appear to be still on, so it's 2 laps to green from this point onward, and we will return at lap number 7 for a second chance at green flag action. Hopefully this time around, of course, it comes in the favor of the drivers, and we get some momentum build up to go longer than 2 laps. Six out of 150, minor damage for the drivers involved, Corey Lyles and James Bray. Rest of the field able to make their way around in little trouble from this point onward. That is the goal. Let's see what happens on this opening lap. Pace car drops down low, and now it's going to be Zach Saunders in control of field. Green flag's going to fly for our opening restart. Middle of the pack looks to get away much better this time. They'll be 2 by 2, and the leaders get through again. Zach Saunders going to lead over Drake Carty with Aaron Schugel right there behind, and so we begin what could be a long green flag stint if everyone stays calm. Middle of the field right now going to be a little bit more dense, so to speak, and there's trouble again. Yellow flag going to fly for the second time tonight, and the reason being Matt Crawford with damage, but Aaron Schugel goes around, and so we are pacing for the second time tonight. Here's an instant replay. Let's see exactly what happened here, and already the cautions are beginning to stack up. Better part of 2 laps until we got this one. And Schugel going to be up on the top of the racing circuit there with Drake Carty. He was going into turns 3 and 4 alone, then bogs down. He goes up high. Drake Carty gets away, but the number 54 of Caden Perkins will send Schugel for a spin. Yellow flag is out again as a result. So caution flies for the second time now tonight. 11 laps in out of 150. Zach Saunders, Drake Carty, Tony Ratliff, and Caden Perkins. The 1, 2, 3, 4 combo at the head of the field. And now we once again settle ourselves down, looking for a chance to get into a rhythm there. Minor contact at the head of the field this time brings us back down the back of the field, causing the first incident, but this time back to the battle for third. Like Schugel. No chance of sticking around now. He's going to have to be at the tail end of the field, and he heads down to pit road, perhaps to get some damage repair and get himself a nice new, fully loaded set of tire and fuel. Schugel's now going to be 15th and last in the entire field, as 12 laps in, Saunders has led all but one of the laps to this point. We'll go back green at lap 15 here as the field once again gets put together. Now, you're looking at some of the drivers here tonight. They have green spoilers, and if you look at those who do, currently you're only going to see 2 drivers. However, most drivers should be wearing this sort of paint scheme livery edition on their trucks, and if they are, it officially signifies that they are part of the playoff picture. And so you'll see that green spoiler there for Rodney Roberts and Chris Mullins alike. A few green highlights, while minor on Zach Saunders' truck are purely coincidence, and it looks like the rest of the field is not going to have the playoff coloration on them tonight. However, Saunders, rest assured, is a championship contender, and he's actually leading the points as it stands. And here we go again. 15 laps in out of 150. Zach Saunders will lead the way with Drake Carty second and Caden Perkins there in third. Perkins goes right up to the top side, and Tony Ratliff's on the bottom. Double file and a little bit of 3 wide as Corey Lyles makes his way through the back. And already contact. Chris Mullins going to bring out the third caution of the night. Yellow flags out for the third incident today, and it looks like the official call is we will make sure our restarts are single file from this point onward. Yellow flag is out. Let's watch what happened here with the number 76 of Chris Mullins. And as you can see, looks like he was bogged down on the high side, tries to go lower, and checks up big. Gets into Cameron Albertson, and contact nearly involving Cameron Fields again. Trouble for the third time in 17 laps, and that's not a great rate, of course, to kick off tonight. At this pace, we would have some 28 cautions, which, of course, we don't want to have, and it's not, of course, the best precedent to start so early in this race. So, single file restarts for the rest of the race, if, of course, all were to play out well. That is the end goal. 18 laps in out of 150. Zach Saunders goes down low. Drake Carty going to go up to the top side here. And we'll be right back after a brief presentation, of course, of the action. Hopefully, looks like now we'll get back going in the full swing of things. Lap 20 out of 150. We're going to let these drivers get loud on this initial lap and see what's going on with Saunders leading the first green flag single file restart of the season. Let's see now what Zach can do as we go down into the inside of turn number 4. Saunders gets the jump and he's going to be out in the way. Green flags out again for our third restart. And you would see now Rodney Roberts going to be just ahead of a side-by-side battle. Klein and Schugel nearly contact, but nothing comes of it. Thomas Coonan now going to be looking to the bottom side. Rodney Roberts right up top for the PRA number 29. Oh, Zach Saunders is going to spin. Yellow flags out and your race leader gets involved. Take a look back on Zach Saunders here. From 1st to 14th, Saunders goes spinning. And the yellow flag's out for the 4th time now on the day. And Zach looked to be all alone at the time of this incident here. You can see the number 99. It looks like just getting loose out of 2 and was not able to correct it. This will give Drake Carty the race lead, and he's going to end up falling all the way down to 14th. Zach Saunders. Yellow flag is out, and perhaps his first mistake of the season coming in the playoff opener. He does have a little bit of a points buffer. Bad news regardless for the 3-time winner, as now he heads all the way back to the tail end of the field. And so, Drake Carty going to get that race lead now for our 4th caution of the night. We're going to be moving on in about 2 or 3 laps, which will bring us to green with about lap 27 on the board. It looks like now, once again, a pause in the action, which had been oh so consistent to open up the night. The goal was to have cleaner racing than what we were seeing at a track like Lanier. So far, admittedly, it looks like we had more trouble than anything else. The second half of the Lanier event was run almost entirely caution-free. Right now, though, looks like we're having some trouble getting into the swing of things, and as it stands, that continued trouble is going to bring us back to yellow once again. 25 laps in out of 150. We'll move on to 26 here, and the iRacing pace car will give us the signal that it's 1 lap to green. A few drivers have gone down to pit road so far, notably Corey Lyles, Aaron Schugel, Cameron Albertson, James Bray, and Chris Mullins, all of which have gone in at least once. The rest of the field has not gone in at all, so the majority of the drivers have decided to stay out and are looking for the best opportunity for the future of this race without having to go and burn out 1 set of tire. No limits today, but it looks like drivers are optimizing the time that they have remaining, and the green flag going to fly yet again. It's going to be Drake Carty holding the fort advantageous in the 1 and 2, and Caden Perkins going to be there in second just beyond him. Single file restart yet again, and it looks like now Carty able to get away with the race lead for the first time tonight. Side by side, the field's going to go once more. You can see Lyles on the bottom. Oh, Ratliff's going to go around. That's the 5th caution of the day. Tony Ratliff brings out the yellow flag number 5. Only 28 laps. Let's take a look back here and figure out what caused it, but it looked like side-by-side racing, perhaps the principal cause, as again, the field goes 2 by 2 and chaos immediately ensues. And no coincidence there that getting closer and pushing and shoving brings us to another troublesome point. Lyles getting a ball in the back bumper there, the number 40, and Ratliff fades to the back of the field just like that. 30 laps in out of 150 here, and once again, we're going to see pacing on the circuit. Ratliff going to be one of now many victims of these incidents coming back and forth, and our 5th of the day is going to see Tony decide to head down to pit road for some further damage repair. In the opening 30 laps, we've had 5 cautions, and that's an average of 1 caution for every 6 laps so far, which would bring us again up to about 30 cautions when all is said and done. Hope the average continues to decrease rather than going higher and higher as we've seen so far. Just got to make it out of those opening laps, and we should get ourselves in that good rhythm. Zach Saunders able to make it up to 11th from 14th on that restart, so he will gain 3 positions overall. As for the rest of the field, minimal changes, and everyone's going to remain about the same, as we will hopefully shorten this yellow flag and go 1 lap to green. We did so in the previous caution to sort of give these drivers more of a chance to feel out the green flag runs, but it looks like, tentatively anyway, we will not do that now, and it will be a full-length yellow. One lap to green now. We'll be going back at lap number 34. This is the 5th restart of the day here. And it's going to be Drake Carty now leading his 2nd. Carty, Perkins, Roberts, the 1, 2, 3 as we go at it once again. And the iRacing official pace car going to drop down and in with Drake Carty advantageous. Green flags out yet again. A little bit of a wiggle there from Thomas Coonan. Rest of the field gets away strongly. And no troubles now to once again go back green for our 5th restart of the night. One driver on the wall. That's Cameron Fields. Nothing else comes of it. Drake Carty now going to have himself the race lead, and it looks like sunny skies out at all. Of course, we have not seen that so far, but now it looks like the sun begins to shine, and it's going to be Carty leading the way as we see the sun beaming out for the first time tonight. A little bit of trouble there, a little bit of that tire smoke. Oh, Cameron Fields takes the other Cameron with him. Yellow flag is out for the 6th time. And the Camerons get each other under green. Starts with Cameron Fields, and this is your 6th caution of the day, mind you. Let's take a look back now and figure out exactly what caused it here. However, it looks like, once again, simply put, up on the high side, beginning to get loose, and Cameron, first off, gets contact with Joseph Klein, and then what happens from there, tries to save it, does a little bit too much, and then plows down to the bottom. Yellow flags out again, 36 laps in out of 150 it came out on. We're up to lap number 38 now, and Drake Carty once again leading the ever-pacing field. No retirees so far, despite the abundance of cautions, and that's because a lot of these yellow flags have continuously become single-car or two-car incidents. 39 laps in out of 150 here. It's going to be Drake Carty, Aaron Schugel, and Caden Perkins. Of these top 3 drivers, well, Aaron Schugel is back up in front despite his early error. He went down a pit road and is able to recover from that point. He's been on a 27-lap stint, now 28 on a younger set of tires. He does have the tire advantage, and at the same time, he's got himself track position now behind his teammate in Drake Carty. We'll see if he can do anything of it. Of course, the green flag laps that we've been given, not a lot of chances. Maybe now there's a chance to do something of it. That remains the question. Green flag at a fly now, but Carty and Schugel up and ahead once more. They'll get out on their way for the 6th restart of the day, and it's going to be side by side further on back. Everyone gets away without trouble here, and it looks like at long last we should be able to settle into a little bit more of that long-term racing. Mid-pack is closer, and here's Thomas Coonan with Corey Lyles. After 6 consecutive opening cautions, it looks like now we're getting the field a little bit calmer, settling down up at the front of the field and even further on back. Lyle's going to get under now. Thomas Coonan. Coonan looks to block. Can't do anything now as it looks like the bottom side has been given to Corey Lyles. Just a little bit of a weave and bob up there for the 68 of Coonan. And he's going to have to give even more room now to Corey Lyles. Lyles stays right under, tucked in, just to the inside of Coonan, but it looks like Thomas is going to have the advantage, gets away with the position, as now there's a side-by-side battle for the race lead. Once again, Drake Carty going to be up top. It's going to be Aaron Schugel right down low, and by car length, Schugel now has the race lead, and you can see Drake Carty going to have to concede the race lead. Let's see what else he can do from here as he's got a little bit more pressure from Caden Perkins just behind. Perkins right now in that number 54, going to find himself in third, and he's been there for the majority of the night. Thomas Kuhn has gotten up to his race high in fourth, and a few other drivers are climbing right now. Notably, contact and your seventh yellow flag, Rodney Roberts brings out the yellow flag after the longest green flag run of the day. Taking a look at this, Roberts and Corey Lyles look to be involved. However, it looks like Rodney went around on his own, and that's what kicked things off. Minor contact from Corey Lyles out of turn 2. And then again, it looks like a nudge, and that's all that's going to do it. And both drivers fall to the tail end of the order again for caution at number 7 here. Lap number 48 out of 150. So 7 cautions in this opening third, as we'll bring it back to the live footage. And admittedly, that does mean our caution average is slowly but surely going down. It would mean 21 cautions are on the table for tonight if we continue at the same pace. Better than 30. And it looks like now the driver's getting that first longer green flag run of some 10-15 laps. Sign of things to come, of course, if the rest of the field can just keep it clean. So now 50 laps in, out of 100, a few more drivers have gone down to pit road, most recently of which Corey Lyles has decided to make his way in. He's gone down to the inside line, of course, under the racing circuit to pit road, and it looks like that time in specific a response to losing all that track position. Some drivers, in all honesty, it looks like they've decided to stay out even if they are at the bottom of the field. However, Lyle's understanding right now he does not have any track position to lose. He'll just go down, get a new set of rubber, and should have the advantage, making a charge once we go back green this time by. Aaron Schugel going to lead the way here, and down low going to be Drake Carty. Green flags out again for lap number 52, and Aaron Schugel with the advantage as the field gets on its way through the opening turns. Side by side now for third. Caden Perkins going to be in the bottom side, and Thomas Kuhn right up top. Number 68 Kuhn now going to have an opportunity on that second groove, and it looks like he's going to take it and utilize it to the fullest. Additionally, he'll bring Zach Saunders with him. Saunders decides to stick it up to the top side, and it looks like caution's out again. It's your 8th. Corey Lyles is the cause with Cameron Fields involved. Yellow flag is out for the 8th time today. Here's a look back on what just occurred. So the 92 up top, and you can see there, it looks like that was a Mads Crawford. No involvement from the 92. However, Rodney Roberts and Corey Lyles contact there. Then Crawford gets in the field, and Corey Lyles spins. Both make minor contact. And again, small incident, yellow flag. Nevertheless, this is your 8th of the day, and Aaron Schugel will lead us to field pace once more. No opportunity so far to get through for green flag racing. 1 lap to green this time by. This upcoming time will lead us to lap number 58. Now, slowly but surely, as the drivers progress through this race, the question becomes whether or not a pit stop will be necessary. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case. These laps are short enough, yellow flag or otherwise, where time will be stretched out. Not a problem. So, for those who have gone down a pit road, it's been almost entirely optional, and it looks like it will slowly but surely become a little bit more popular if tires get worn out. It should be preferable for drivers involved with incidents such as your current race leader, Aaron Schugel, on a 45-lap run as we get our 8th restart here in lap number 58. Green flag's on the way again, and Schugel is going to lead from Drake Carty and the company beyond him. Everyone gets away nicely and cleanly. Respectful racing up in front. Further on back, more of the same. You'll see now Tony Ratliff, Christopher Mullins, and there's going to be the number 76, your Daytona winner, running just within the confines of the top 10. Right now for Mullins, it looks like he's got himself a small bundle of drivers, a little group to work with, as Aaron Fontaine and James Bray now go toe-to-toe. Aaron in the wall ever so slightly here, just trying to stay off of any contact from the respective field, and he's got ahead of him and behind. It looks like Aaron is going to let James Bray go, and a few lappers now going to be on the move. Rodney Roberts for one, and now Mads Crawford in risk and in jeopardy of going a lap down as well. Mads with some serious right side damage. That right front is all torn in. Nevertheless, it looks like now that number 92 is still going, and here comes Drake. Of course, Carty moving up top. There goes Zach Saunders. A little bit of contact, but that will not stop the 99. Now going to be toe-to-toe. Carty and Saunders. Zach going to be up top, and Drake going to be on the bottom side. It looks like the advantage once again in the favor of Zach here, as Thomas Coonan's up to second, and he's looking to hold it that way. All the while, Aaron Schugel is running away with the race lead. He's got a second plus ahead of the drivers who are there, as it looks like Carty gets shot up the track, and he will fall all the way down low beside James Bray in the battle for fifth. And James is going to get that fifth spot, which goes to show how much trouble now Drake Carty's going to be in. It looks like all his momentum and onslaught of which has been lost at once. The 97 of Joseph Klein and Corey Lyles going to be there toe-to-toe. And you can see it looks like Corey Lyles now getting the opportunity to make the pass once again. And he does so on Joseph Klein rather quickly. That's the move for seventh, as Zach Saunders continues to chase down Thomas Coonan, who is now only about a half a truck length up on top. Multiple battles now going to be on the circuit at the same time, but it looks like this is the closest of which between the JFR drivers. Here now, Corey Lyles sees Joseph Klein spin. That's yellow flag number 9, solo spin, but it still brings out the caution. Klein with the yellow flag, and we're going to figure out exactly what caused it here. It looks like, though, nobody else involved but Joseph, nevertheless, will go spinning. Unfortunate here to still see those troubles, but Klein, it looks like just getting loose, and that's what did him in. Spinning around on his lonesome, 69 laps in out of 150. Joseph Klein again finding trouble. This time around, nobody else involved. And now 69 laps through out of 150 overall. The leaders have done a nice job staying up in front, but that's about the most credit you can give them. Everyone now going to be down on pit road. Let's see what happens with it here. It's a close-up of Aaron Fontaine on pit road. He's still there. One driver is going to spin, and it looks like Mullins has to stop. Jason Ratliff going to be led around. A tricky circumstances. Drivers stop and go on pit road. There's Aaron Fontaine as we begin to shuffle out the field. It looks like a little bit of a cycling conundrum. James Bray, tentatively speaking, is your race leader, and you'll see him right there in the number 41. It's Rodney Roberts behind him, but then there's Aaron Schugel, the leader on new tire. So, it looks like the field overall relatively undecided as to who goes where, and here comes the 91 of Aaron Schugel, who's making his way up and ahead of some of these drivers. Looks like he's going to make that move rather respectfully, just slowly pivoting down to the bottom side and not going to get in any trouble. Instead, moving himself right behind your current race leader. James Bray is going to decide to stay out there, and it looks like his goal, keep on going, even if, of course, he's got himself much older rubber. One lap to green this time by. Zach Saunders is a notable driver who just left the race. So your championship points leader has retired from this event, and it looks like 9 cautions, a little bit too much for Zach, and he has left the session immediately as a result. Green flag's going to fly for the 9th restart of the day, and already going to be Aaron Schugel down to the inside here on James Bray, and not going to waste any time. Yellow flag's going to be out again. Drake Carty, that's the 10th caution of the day. Caution's out. Take a quick look at just what caused it. Looks like Carty got loose, and we're going to figure out exactly why here. But Drake Carty bringing out the yellow flag for your 10th caution of the day in 74 laps. We'll go to the second half of this race under yellow here. 10 cautions in this opening half, and Carty another single car spin. Nevertheless, the yellow flag flies. And so the field's going to once again put itself back together. Looks like now James Bray going to be disconnected as well. 2 retirees, regardless of damage. Maybe some drivers now beginning to pull off of the circuit, and it stands here, 75 laps remaining. Aaron Schugel, Corey Lyles, Caden Perkins, and Cameron Albertson. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the combination up in front, and the Fast Four has behind them Drake Carty and Rodney Roberts. Currently, anyway, there are only 6 drivers officially registered on the lead lap. It's a peculiar position to be in now that we've seen so many yellow flags back and forth on the circuit tonight. From the very beginning to this point at halfway, there has been no stopping the cautions. In all honesty, the green flag racing has only come in short tidbits in between. Up and down the order, it's been very hard to find the perfect opportunity to get the racing going. And we will continue to wait all the while for a green flag run. The longest of which overall, it's come down to 10 laps. Green flag's out yet again for Aaron Schugel's 10th restart of the day, and he's going to bring now the top 3 with him, as it's going to be now Chris Mullins further on back, side by side. Lapper's going to fight for position here, as do the leaders, and it looks like now 73 laps to go and still counting down. Aaron Schugel going to lead with Corey Lyles there second and Caden Perkins in third. 10 cautions so far, and it looks like we've now gotten ourselves in a little bit of a rhythm with a smaller field, giving us a better opportunity to get ourselves into the long-term run that all drivers are hoping to have. Up top is going to be the number 18 of Aaron Fontaine. He's got there with them Chris Mullins, and Mullins going to stay on the bottom here, hoping not to come up and cause any contact. Aaron Fontaine rather loose, and he's going to lead now. Number 68 of Thomas Kuhn around the track. Thomas, for the time being, he is currently going to be 2 laps down, and looks like he's going to stay right behind Fontaine, now looking for an opportunity, and there he would take it. Chris Mullins more the same, and he'll go down to the bottom side himself, and now Fontaine further on back as Coonan gets loose, but he saves it with 69 laps to go. A nice save, and that's the difference between, of course, going down to the yellow flag, keeping the race under green. Now the battle for the race lead continues, and it's going to be Corey Lyles and Aaron Schugel. Let's ride on board now with Corey as he continues to battle his teammate in the number 91. Corey right now going to stay in tow with the 91 of Aaron Schugel, and we talked to Aaron about the previous race at Daytona and how it all went down. In all honesty, Aaron Schugel told us this much: if he could have, he would have simply given that race victory to Corey Lyles, given that Corey has still not had the chance to get to victory lane. Corey has been oh so close race after race. He came through with 3 consecutive runner-up finishes coming into Daytona, and he's been just about the second best driver regardless of the week, and it's got to be infuriating, of course, knowing he's been very solid. Drake Carty going to disconnect as well, 7 laps down, which leaves the 2 additional JFR drivers to fight alongside each other, hoping for the perfect chance, of course, to come through and get the victory. Still a lot of opportunity on the table here. It's 63 laps to go for the rest of the field, but now these are the only 2 drivers who seem to be even relatively close to each other. And maybe that's going to change as this race progresses, but right now it looks like it's far from it. Everyone in the rest of the field is going to be very comfortable. Caution's out, though. Yellow flag for the 11th time. Joseph Klein goes spinning, and with 62 laps to go, we are pacing yet again. Let's figure out exactly what caused it here as we take an instant replay on the matter. Caution's out, and this is why. Joseph Klein seeing them split three. Thomas Kuhn to the inside, Cameron Albertson right up top, and it looks like as the field goes three wide here, Klein going to back off, and Chris Mullins there. Contact. And the restarts will be returning to double file procedure for the rest of this race. 60 laps to go. Yellow flag going to be out for the 11th time today, and it's going to be Joseph Klein involved with Christopher Mullins. That brings us to that point. .60 laps remaining. There's Aaron Schugel, Caden Perkins, and Cameron Albertson going to be on the way here. It's number 15 of Albertson and Caden Perkins in number 54. Just behind Schugel now as Corey Lyles again goes down at pit road, deciding to get some new rubber. Splitting the strategy with his teammate just ahead and hoping to make something happen a little bit different here in the tail end of the race. So now drivers going to be reordering themselves for this restart here. Aaron Schugel up and ahead, and the field will see the 1 lap to go signal next time by. Returning with what's only going to be 56 laps to go here. And the field coming down to crunch time. We've gotten nearly 100 laps through. Let's figure out what happens next. Double file for the first time since the opening 3 restarts. Aaron Schugel and Caden Perkins having an opportunity now in the upper pocket in the number 54 car to take the race lead from Aaron Schugel. Let's see what happens with it here, as it looks like the number 91 down low can have a chance to get the jump on the restart as the control car. 11th restart of the day, and here we go again. Schugel getting the advantage. Aaron going to get up and away. Corey Lyles already up to second as Cameron Albertson's going to be battling Thomas Kuhn. Meanwhile, Thomas Kuhn is going to be still a lapped driver. 2 laps down as we speak. 55 laps to go. The very last moments of this event are going to come down to multiple drivers on multiple sets of laps battling each other. Mullins contact with Albertson, and it looks like we might see a repeat of that previous yellow flag if 76 gets a little close and causes more trouble. Luckily, nothing came of it there, and it looks like now Rodney Roberts going to dive to the bottom side, and he'll look for some room getting around the number 15 of Albertson. And it looks like, as Cameron Albertson to fall further back, the leading battle will progress, and it remains as aggressive as it has been all night long. Now these drivers in the smaller field getting a chance to battle each other. It's effectively a locked-in top 5 finish. The reason is, well, we only have 5 drivers left on the lead lap as we come to lap number 100 here and now. Corey Lyles sees the opportunity. He'll head down to the inside line, and Lyles now leads the race. He's got Aaron Schugel just behind him, and still he will not give in. Nevertheless, it looks like Corey Lyles here has a chance, of course, to pull away, and maybe with the new set of rubber he's got, it's all the advantage he needs to take home the race victory. And the yellow flag, is it not out? It isn't, but Mads Crawford is destroyed on the apron, and the race stays green. Here's an instant replay regardless, and a surprise as Mads Crawford is going to remain on the circuit, blown up, and yet, 10th place. Looks like Mads Crawford is going to go loose and in, perhaps intentionally. Yellow flag did not fly for Mads Crawford there, and the 92 team, they're going to park it in the most violent of methods. And meanwhile, Corey Lyles is going to be on the way, as we can see the 56 crew, 47 laps to go. Advantageous, and it looks like no trouble having to worry about drivers who have gone down once or twice to pit road or anything of the sort. Lyles decided to get the new set of rubber, and in a much smaller field, you can see that has made all the difference. It looks like tonight, nothing more important than getting that rubber late in the going. We haven't had many of those green flag runs, which means drivers really don't understand the implications of going down a pit road at this track just yet. And it looks like tonight for Corey Lyles, taking the gamble might be what leads him to victory lane for the first time this season. Of course, so far, an opportunity for the driver, the number 54, Caden Perkins. He's gotten chances at the podium, and it looks like tonight again, he's got himself in a pretty firm position to go at it once more. Perkins right now going to be several seconds ahead of Cameron Albertson, who battles still with Aaron Fontaine, and it looks like Caden, one of the rookie drivers who came in midway this season, while he knocks a little bit of the wall down there, he's been doing a pretty good job. You might remember that Perkins did have himself in a few races, notably USA International Speedway, one of our shorter track events, in which he came home with a top 5 run. Now tonight for Perkins, it looks like more of the same, and looking for continued success as the battle for 4th now going to be closest on the track. Cameron Albertson remains just behind now Aaron Fontaine, and it looks like still Aaron Fontaine prevails in the 4th spot. Albertson to round out the top 5, and 6th is Rodney Roberts. Take a look from the deck lid now, the number 18, to see what's going on. DBR number 18 team moving up into the top 5 tonight, and it looks like Aaron going to remain there, but now Cameron Albertson up on the top side. Cameron looking for a move, hasn't quite gotten it there. Looking for maybe a slide job, going up to the top side. Fontaine now on the wall, and it's trouble. Keep in mind, both these drivers are now in jeopardy of going a lap down, and that's what they will do, giving the room up to Corey Lyles, race leader, and Cameron Albertson a little bit more with hesitation rather than Aaron Fontaine. Now sees Corey up in front of all but 2 drivers. Mads Crawford, after that bizarre incident, gets back on the track as well, so we'll see what happens with the 92, who is puttering, but looks like now getting up to speed. Mads going to get back on the way, and it looks like, despite the trouble, Crawford going to put the honest effort in to return to the circuit and getting that damage repaired. All should be well for the coming laps. And it's best to see now the field finally settling in after 11 cautions on the day. Now it's going to be side by side once more between Aaron Fontaine and Cameron Albertson. However, they're going to have to give up that battle once again. Here comes Aaron Schugel. He's on the lead lap, and so he's going to request access. He gets access through, and he will push right on by. That's going to move now the number 91 of Aaron Schugel up in a second. Caden Perkins going to be 3rd, and it's going to be Cameron Albertson there in 4th. Fontaine rounds out in the top 5, and he's got Rodney Roberts then and there in 6th with 32 laps to go. It all comes down to this very last stretch, the tail end of the race. Here's the number 18 down low for Fontaine. Can't quite get there, and here comes Caden Perkins, another lead lap driver. And now the lead lappers, as few as they are, they've got the priority, and they make their move around yet again. Rodney Roberts is getting in this battle because of how many times the other drivers ahead of him have been interrupted. Roberts now with a chance to get up to 4th, and we'll see whether or not he capitalizes on it here. He's got Thomas Coonan training him around the circuit, and it looks like Thomas has given him just enough room to continue making his way around lap after lap without having to worry about taking the wrong line, because the inside has been sort of put into its own, and you could see, like, just as quick as he came in, he comes out with a position. Rodney Roberts is up to 4th, and he's got new rubber to go with it too, so now Roberts is up into the 4th spot, and it looks like there's very little competition for him to, of course, fall out of that position. Coonan now coming up on Chris Mullins. The Daytona winner going to be up on the high side. Thomas Coonan, who's yet to find, of course, victory lane at these short circuits, is going to get right by Chris Mullins, and that will move Thomas up into 7th, the highest position of all drivers, who are currently 2 laps down. 27 laps remaining, and time still going to be Running out for the field, it looks like Corey Lyles is now looking to bring the field home to a very smooth and calm ending to what's been overall a rather erratic event. The first 75-odd laps were filled with a litany of yellow flags, and from there, of course, we expected things to calm down eventually. Now they have, and it looks like Lyles is going to be benefiting the most from all that. 25 laps remaining, becomes 24 this time by, and at 22 laps to go, as always, live on FTN, we're going to crank it up with the best cameras on the iRacing platform, TrackCams22.com, providing high-quality sim racing performance cameras. They bring the performance because they are efficient for broadcasting computers, multiple network computers. They allow for it no matter how you set up your broadcast. The best broadcasters choose the best cameras. Efficient and effective. TrackCams22.com is the place to go for all the iRacing broadcasters, regardless of discipline. Visit TrackCams22.com after tonight's broadcast, and we'll return after we crank it up with 22 laps to go. Now coming down to what are the final 14 laps on the day, Corey Lyles has been nothing short of incredible on this run. He's got himself the youngest set of tire. He played the strategy to a T, and now as long as he coasts around for the final 13 laps, this will be his race to lose. I think right now he's got his eyes set on the checkered flag. First playoff race of the season, and after 11 cautions, the field has simmered down and brought itself to the very last moments of this event. Currently, you're going to see Joseph Klein battling with Chris Mullins, and it looks like Klein not afraid to maybe put the bumper to him, and this could make things a little bit spicier because the lappers are still battling for position. Their race is not over, even if for the lead lap drivers, all three of which their positions have effectively been settled down. It looks like Klein now going to look low. He's going to take it to the bottom side, and he will get the run ahead of Chris Mullins. Meanwhile, here's Cameron Albertson and number 15 right there, still behind Aaron Fontaine. He's lost a little bit of that time, of course, with all the leaders coming by, but the battle is not over just because of that note. And you'll see here, Cameron Albertson going to get the opportunity to slice right down low on Aaron Fontaine. It looks like Aaron going to give him that room, little choice else for him. And so the number 15 moves right up into the 5th position. 9 laps to go this time around. Lyle's going to be your race leader, and it's going to be Aaron Schugel then second, Caden Perkins third, and Rodney Roberts is there in 4th. 8 laps remaining, and time is still counting down. It looks like everyone should be in a good position to make it to the end of this race. No worries about fuel nor tires. Now, Lyles just has to ensure he does not get involved in trouble, and hopefully for his sake, he doesn't see the yellow flag, which could bring the field back into a frenzy for a green, white, checkered finish. Speaking of which, if there is any opportunity for that to occur, it's going to be here and now with Thomas Coonan and Cameron Albertson. Cameron goes up top. Thomas Coonan is not in this battle, mind you, unless, of course, he can get away, and now he is going to be there, just ahead of Cameron. Cameron Albertson now going to be 2 laps down, and it looks like Aaron Fontaine right there. Oh, multiple drivers going to be bouncing off the wall, and it looks like Chris Mullins is going to see another driver get right by him on the apron. 3 wide. They'll split him down the middle. Rodney Roberts just got by. He's in 4th and alone, 1 lap down now. The rest of the field is 2 laps down or more with 5 laps to go. All of a sudden, the lappers having a bit of a kerfuffle, but the leaders, well, I'm sure they want to hear none of it. And it looks like, once again, every driver gets away, puts it together again, and Aaron Fontaine, 7th place he is now, after falling back from as high as 4th. It looks like these last few laps have not treated him all too kindly. Corey Lyles is now in a world of his own, 4 seconds ahead of his teammate Aaron Schugel, and he mentioned, of course, Daytona, another example of his team just not having the big break they need. Whether it's been strategy, photo finishes going the wrong way, or even sometimes, of course, luck of the draw at the very end. Looks like it just has not been Corey Lyles' chance to get to victory lane, except for tonight. White flag is going to fly now for the number 56 of Corey Lyles, and for the championship picture, this is major. Corey will come in as the 8th seed, and tonight he will outperform all of his championship rivals from top to bottom. Corey Lyles gets it done and collects the checkered flag here in Southern National. Major victory and the first ever in Legacy Truck Series history during the playoffs. Corey Lyles, at long last, the bridesmaid, collects the victory. Leading 51 laps out of 150, Lyles is your winner. And Corey gonna back it in to the front straightaway and go for a double burnout there with Aaron Schugel as the celebration continues. JFR back on top, and you can see it there. 2 back-to-back winners, burning it down in Southern National. The playoffs are going to be major for the 2 of them, and Lyles is fighting for a championship. Race results for tonight's event, they go as follows. The checkered flag and a fall for Corey Lyles, and then it's going to be 2nd place in Aaron Schugel. 3rd spot going to go to Caden Perkins, and 4th position, Rodney Roberts. As you can see, 3 drivers finish on the lead lap. Rest of the field far out of the picture. Thomas Coonan going to be 5th with Cameron Albertson, then in 6th, and Aaron Fontaine in 7th. 8th place going to be Joseph Klein. Chris Mullins is going to be 9th, and Mads Crawford is going to be position number 10. 11 places then and there going to be Drake Carty with 12th, James Bray, Tony Ratliff 13th, Zach Saunders 14th, Cameron Fields in the 15th position, and Cody Johnson, the 16th and last driver on the board in tonight's event. And we're going to get a word from all of your top 3 finishers, of course, starting with a driver who got the job done. And tonight, Lyles gets the victory. It's been a long time coming for the 56 team, but tonight, everything works out. Let's get a word now from your race winner, Corey Lyles, who gets it done here in Southern National. Corey, victory, of course, been long awaited this season, and at the right time, you strike and get the opening victory of the playoffs here in this inaugural season of the Legacy Truck Series. Corey, how do you feel?
I hate this track. I despise it. I did it. First half of that race was terrible. Ran terrible. Ran like a moron. But I mean, Schugel pretty much dominated that. I just had a good pit strategy. Nobody else pit. There was only 4 people on the lead lap, and I striked at the right time. I was surprised I didn't wreck there. I thought there was gonna they were getting a little dicey at one point. I thought there was gonna be a spin, but yeah, I got it done finally. Took me long enough.
And at long last, this one has been definitely a long time coming. And tonight, the best way to break out, of course, you were dominant in that final stretch. You went down a pit road and got the new rubber, and that seemed to be your ticket to victory, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I'm surprised. I thought Shugo was gonna pit with me. And he almost did. I thought he kind of psyched me out, and I still went in, and yeah, I got it done.
Getting it done in victory lane here tonight, Corey. What a way to open up the championship picture now. And with the opening win, you're going to move up from that 8th seed and now serious contention. It is possible. So, up next on the schedule, well, we've got ourselves a few more exciting races coming up, and in particular, out of Southern National. We move now. Next up for second race, it's going to be Gateway. So, going to a slightly longer track, of course, drives completely different. How are you feeling now? Finally getting that first victory, and now your eyes being on maybe a little bit more success.
Um, yeah, I got some motivation finally coming into this. And I have no idea how Gateway's gonna work. So I need a little bit of practice there. But I definitely do not have as much pressure as I did going into this race. I was really pressured qualifying. I think it was like 6th or 7th, and then having some incidents earlier where I was wrecking people. That was completely on me. I'm sorry if anybody I wrecked is watching. But yeah, I feel a lot lighter now that I've got one added to the book.
And finally getting that marquee victory, the first on the season. Corey Lyles, you win here in Southern National. If you have any final shout outs you'd like to give, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out my team, JFR, Aaron Schugel, Trevor Huff, Jackson Fuimono, Jason Beckman, Beckman Designs. I think that's it for right now.
There we have it. Corey Lyles coming through tonight, collecting the checkered flag in the Southern National Motorsports Park. We thank you for your time.
Yep.
And with Lyles on the way, we'll hear from second place finisher Aaron Schugel, who tonight, of course, got it done at Daytona, so he's looking for the opportunity for back-to-back wins, coming just a few seconds short on the day tonight here, Aaron. And it looks like for the drivers who held on to the old tire, you finished the highest of all those, but that difference in tire was everything at the very end.
Yeah, man, I feel dumb. That was a stupid move. I mean, I had a feeling we would have a couple more wrecks there, so I was just counting on it. I didn't think the tires were old enough that I needed a new set at the time. Because on cold tires, at least for me, I was never really good on really cold tires. It was always pretty loose on entry for me, so I just thought by not pitting, I could, have a bit more grip before the next caution than I would have pit again, but it's oh well. Corey won. Pretty happy about that. He's been getting seconds for a while, so good for him to win. But man, I really thought I had this one in the bag.
So close to making things happen tonight, of course, in that second run, not getting a chance to really redeem yourself and perhaps trying to stay out, because we had 11 cautions to open up the race, and then all of a sudden completely caution free. And I'm pretty sure for everyone that really caught them out on how different the racing was.
Yeah. Just the I mean, the tires never really heated up because all the cautions at first, so um we didn't I don't think we ever got tires because of true wear until like I think like exactly the midpoint in the race. That's when I got a set. And we had I think like a 20 lap run after that. And you know there's a caution, I don't recall what for, but I stayed out, a couple other people stayed out. Corey pit, a couple other people pit. I mean, honestly, all things considered, I'm kind of happy with how well I was able to keep up with him there. I mean, I feel like the car was not handling bad at all on that old tires. I mean, it was a little tight center corner, but other than that, it felt pretty good. So I just think, if we were to get tires there at the end or that last caution, I think maybe could have had a closer battle for the win.
Very close there to having a chance for back-to-back victories tonight, Aaron. All things considered, still one of the highest seed drivers coming out of this one in the championship battle. And how are you feeling about Gateway up next as our second track in the playoff picture?
Well, I cannot honestly confirm that I will be running Gateway, not because I don't want to, just conflicting schedule with family and stuff. So I hope I can make it. I don't know if I can though. I think I can make the championship 4. So I just, if I miss a couple races between now and between now and the championship 4, I gotta be, I have to either get second or win every race. So yeah, winning would have made it a bit easier, but yeah, it's fine.
All things considered, Aaron, still a second place run. You have any final shout outs you'd like to give? We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, Corey Lyles, he drove like crazy today. JFR, I don't know if you noticed, but we got a new sponsor, kind of. We got a store now, jfr.itemorder.com. Check it out for JFR merchandise if you choose to. Like I said, Corey, Trevor Huff. Trevor Huff was going to spot me this race, but he had some internet problems or some Windows 11 problems or something like that. Off-Road Warehouse, titanium welding, and impact safety gear.
And there you have it. Aaron Schugel coming through with a 1-2 for the JFR drivers, coming home second on the day here in Southern National. We thank you for stopping by.
Thanks, man.
And with Schugel on the way, top of the board, of course, for JFR again. This time the roles are reversed. Aaron Schugel, the man in second, and Corey Lyles getting it done here in the Southern National Motorsports Park. It was a little bit iffy to kick off the night with, of course, those back-to-back-to-back yellows, but now, with all said and done, the championship battle has only just started. And we'll move on to Gateway up next for our continued championship coverage live on FTN. The Legacy Truck Series will move on to the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Same time, same place, Friday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you tune in and see us there for another week of competition here in the Prodigy Racing Association League. We thank you all for watching tonight's coverage of the SimPulse Legacy Truck Series from the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park. I've been your host, commentating and producing, David Kreutz. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, make sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated, and we hope you stick around for our next broadcast tomorrow night with Saturday Night Thunder as they move on to their second race of the 2024 B season. Thank you all for tuning in tonight's presentation, and we hope you have a fantastic night.